Okay, this drawing right here, the bracket, we're going to be doing it in half size or 1:2 scale because it's 6 inches long and 3 inches deep. So that makes us 9 inches going across with our front view and our side view. And we've got less than 11 inches of paper. So we're going to draw it at half size, which means you'll be dividing all of these dimensions by 2 to draw it on the paper. And a couple of ways to do that is if you have an engineer scale, you can use the 20 scale, and so this would be 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch. So when it says 6 inches, you just come across here to the 6, and that's your, that's what you're going to draw it at. If you don't have an engineer scale, all you have is, a regular fractional rule. You can divide these by 2, which would give you 3 inches, and so you would draw it at 3 inches. If you're in, like these have decimals, if you're using a fractional scale, you would convert those decimals over to fractions. And there's a chart further back in the book, in chapter 3, that can show you that. Well, if you're using an engineer scale, or even an architect scale later on, if you put a little clip on the edge of it, that way you've always got the right scale down while you're drawing. Check my focus here. That looks kind of. Okay, I guess that's as good as we're going to get. So that's a little trick you can use to put a little clip on it. I have this nice metal rule that I use, and I can't put a clip on it, but it has colored inside, so I always know the yellow is what I want. So let's start with this. So the front view is going to be 6 inches. My side view is going to be 3 inches deep. So I'm going to go ahead and mark those out. My top view is 3 inches deep again. And this one is really not, it's not a, oh, I didn't do, oh well, okay. My height, 3.25. Okay, now I know those are very faint because I'm using my 0.3 millimeter pencil with an H lead, so it's very, very, very faint. But we look at this, we know that the rib here is 2.7 over, and then it's 0.6 thick. So if I come over 2.7, and then go 0.6 thick, and I'm going to go ahead and draw that rib down. The base is 0.75 tall. And then the angles on this, we got 1.2 over and 0.25 down. So 1.2 over, .25 down, and then I basically just connect those 2 points and the same coming down to the outside. And then it'd be a repeat for the right side. So I'm going to take that point and just kind of transfer it over. Okay. And then I got a couple of holes in the back. It's like 1.95 over. And here you're just having to estimate when you go into these 0.05 decibels. And those are 1.25 up from the base here. And other than the hidden lines right here, that's pretty much got my front view done, with the exception of darkening it in. So I can project over to my side view. I've got this height, I got that height. So I need a thickness 0.75. And then for this point, I can project that line across. To give me that. I haven't drawn my holes yet, so I can't put my hidden lines over here, and that's okay. So let's look at the top view up here. I know that's 0.75 deep. You can measure, you could project across. We'll go ahead and do the projection, and really that's the only depth item that I have. That looks suspect. I'm not sure about that. And just a little skinny. Okay, I can live with that. Okay, so I got my rounded corners and my holes. So let's go ahead and mark my center marks. It says it's a radius of 0.75. Right here, a radius of 0.75. That'd be the center mark for this part of the slot. And then the slot is 0.75 deep. So I'm going to come over 0.75 from both sides. And then it would be 0.75 back from the front edge. And then another 0.75 back for the rear of the slot. Okay, and so that's got a lot of the stuff. I'm going to erase out a lot of these construction lines, and then I'll start darkening some stuff in. Okay, so now I'm going to darken a few things in. Okay, I had a little trouble with my pencil, had to replace the lead in it, so I stopped the video, got that done, and I went ahead and I darkened in several items. And so let's look at our holes and circles. So even with the template, you're gonna have to divide the diameters by 2 to figure out what size to use. So in this case here with the outside rounds, that's a radius of 75. So the diameter would be 1.5. But I want to divide that by 2, so it'd still give me a diameter of 0.75. I know that was kind of weird to get around. Here we go. And then the holes are, it says a radius of 0.375, so it'd be the same thing again. I look for a diameter of 0.375, which is going to be 3/8 of an inch. 3/8 right here. And then my holes here at the front were a diameter of 0.625, which is 5/8. So that would be a diameter of 5/16. Okay, and then like with the previous video, I can project my hidden lines down and across. And so like for these, project those hidden lines down, my center line, same way with the holes here, project the holes up into the rear. And you would do the same thing to the side. You project over to the side, and I'm gonna pause the video and then finish up, and then come back and recap the ending. Okay, I finished up my drawing, done all the erasing, I've done all the darkening, projected hidden lines down, okay, and over and across. Now with a slot like this, you've got center marks at each of the radius points for the arcs at the end. So when you come to your side view, you'll have a center mark for the front radius, and then a center mark for the rear radius, or a center mark for the rear radius. You do not put just one in the middle, because that doesn't give you a reference point for where the radii are coming from. And darken in, erasing up, get it nice and clean. Fill in your title block across the bottom, and that, guess I could pull it up so you can see the title block. Fill in the title block, and that'll be it, okay? If you got questions, come see us, all right?